on a boat on the Thames waiting for an online comedy course on how to find your comedy audience online, which I think actually at this stage I could probably do with. So I don't know what it's going to be like. I've got here very early, so I'm just going to be sitting around on a wonky boat until it's time. It's probably reminiscent of my very first comedy gig, which was on the Wibbly Wobbly boat, which was a boat in South London. It was run by Malcolm Hardy, but he was dead by the time I did it, so he wasn't running it. It was run before I went. It was opened by him, but then by the time I did it, it was still very rowdy, and it was an awful gig. It was probably the worst gig of my career, and it was my first one. So yeah, boats and me and comedy probably don't have a great... Oh, this is so wonky. I hope I'm not seasick, because it's really swaying in the wind and the tide. This is the view from the boat. It's moving around a lot. So what did I learn from this event? Well, the main thing I learned is it's very difficult to make a viral video. There were 3 people on the panel. One of them was from Broadcast magazine, which is about standard, very well paid, very well funded broadcast. The usual sort, mainstream media. So she was asked a few questions and she didn't really know how to get an audience online, because broadcast has got an awful lot of people and has had for a long time. So that's one thing, get a niche market. And there is a saying I heard recently: if you are going to grow a tree, the best time is 25 years ago. The second best time is now. So I think the thing with broadcast is they've got the audience. They've already got the audience. So they don't really need to strive for it anymore. It's a niche audience. It's a special, very specific audience. So that's one thing that I have learned from that. If you've got a very specific audience and you've built up the following, then you're already made. But if you haven't, you just have to try hard and hope for the best and hope that you're good enough to make it. The other person on there were 2 other people. One of the people had done a video called The Expert, which is well done. It's a short film. It's based on a Russian short story. It's very good, it's well acted. It's got 19 million views, and the guy that made it isn't quite sure why, but he did say that he'd spent a lot of money on it. So that's one thing. And also a little bit of luck, and also it's a lot of things to do with the tags. He said the metadata is very important. He's made sure that it's going to the right audience. So, budget, going to the right audience, well done, have the niche, make sure that it's something that people want to see. So that you've got that as well. But even then, you don't really know whether you're going to make it. So it's a lot of different factors are being taken into account here. The other person on the panel works for the company that makes Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which is massive, massive on the internet, but which I'd never heard of, I thought, until I went looking afterwards, and then I realised that I did know about it because my nephews have been singing the song from the 2nd episode constantly, over and over and over and over and over and over again. He's 8 years old, one that's 10 years old, and one that's 12 years old now, and they have been singing it a lot. So I don't know, that what the person said was that is aimed at children. Really, it's not really aimed at children. It's sort of sneakily aimed at children, and then they watch it and go, oh, this is naughty. So it's an adult thing aimed at children. So tricking people. Now, I don't advocate tricking people into seeing things, but I mean, it seems to have worked for them. So that's another thing. Niche audience, tricking people into seeing it, making sure that it's quality and it's got a big budget. That's another thing. They've got a lot of budget behind them. They've got a production company behind them. So I've got to work on that. So I've got to get the audience and the high quality stuff, make sure that my content is absolutely amazing, that everybody wants to see it, that I've spent loads of money on it, that the audience will be found by putting the right metadata and tags on it, and quite a lot of other things. Basically what I'm saying is there is no secret, which I think I started this saying. But we can try, can't we? So that's what I'll do. That's what we will all do, is try. Okay. Bye-bye.